Hello everybody, it's your non-binary pal Gracious E.V.A here, and welcome back to another chill speed paint video. So for today's video, this artwork that I'm drawing today is actually based off of an outfit that I saw on Pinterest, or like a concept of an outfit that I saw on Pinterest. It was a really cool like stained glass swimsuit dress thing, and I decided to draw one of my characters in it. I decided to draw my character Chris, who I've talked about here on this channel before. And during this I was actually editing his design quite a bit because I'm not super happy with his overall design, just like the color palette of it, so I was messing around with his hair color and making his skin tone darker for this one. There's a lot of progress that I need to do for Chris and his story before I feel like working on it. That includes changing his name. I don't really like his name. It was originally like a placeholder thing, but yeah, I'm thinking of changing it to something else. But yeah, since it is a swimsuit, I thought it would make sense to have him in like a pond, like a body of water, and I decided to have some forest, like a little foresty tree thing behind him as well. And I decided to have those also be have a stained glass effect as well. So you'll see that later on. And yeah, when it came to the sketch, I remember struggling with the sketch for a little bit, and I'm not sure why. I think it was just the anatomy. But once I finally got the sketch down, I used a different brush for the line art. It's more of a brush meant for painting, but I just turned it down to a smaller size and use it for line art. That usually works pretty well for that. And I've actually done that with all the characters from this story because of the feel of it. Yeah, it's very inspired. The artwork I want to be inspired by stained glass art, which is why I thought this would be super fitting. And yeah, I like to use this more painterly line art style whenever I'm drawing characters in this because I thought it fits a little more, and the line art turns out a little bit thicker too, which kind of goes well with the stained glass theme. And yeah, after getting the line art down, which was pretty easy, I went on to trying to figure out, I colored in everything, of course, including Chris, but I was trying to figure out how to blotch in like colors on the corset and skirt. This was inspired by some artwork that I saw on Kara, but yeah, I decided instead of just segmenting it, that I would actually blotch it in. And I think this actually makes the effect look more like authentically stained glass, but I was having a bit of a hard time with the values specifically because I kept all the values like very pastel-y, so it was hard to not have all the values blown out because I was going to add a glow effect to it too. So yeah, a little hard to not make the values super blown out on that. And the same was true for the background as well. I added in the colors, the values, and then I blotched in some colors on the tree and on the pond. And after a bit, I had to make a quick swatch for all the colors and lighting because there was a lot, and I needed to keep track of all of it. Yeah, in the far back, I kept it completely black to make the colors really stand out. That's a trick I have. Just use black whenever you want something to stand out for neon, because that's fun. Neon or pastel, it works either way. And yeah, and rather than jumping straight in on Chris after getting the background colors started, I actually decided to do a little bit of shading on the background, just mainly figuring out how to shade the trees, which I actually forgot to record, so whoops. But you can see how I did them in some of these other trees that I didn't forget to record. But yeah, I kept it very stained glassy, very segmented, and added a lot of like little sparkle effects and those like swatches of color on the trees and on the pond as well. And I used my normal style of water rendering, using a bunch of brushes that I think look like ripples and stuff to get the right effect that I want. And then after I did that, I started rendering Chris, keeping in mind the lighting. I actually wanted most of the lighting to come from the pond, which I was going to make super glowy. So yeah, an underlight here with a little extra bounce light from everything else. So yeah, kept keeping that in mind. The hardest part was the highlights because I had to decide what colors to use for each section. I've done this before with different artworks. I'll do this a lot where it's like multiple lighting colors just scattered around in different spots. But yeah, I did that for this one, and I think it turned out good. I actually added quite a bit of green in this, which I don't normally do, but I think it worked for the color palette here, made it very like pastel rainbow. And yeah, I wasn't completely done rendering Chris before I went on to the background, but I was going to add the extra touches once I added in some more light from the pond, because I wanted to add that. But first I added some extra detail in the background, including adding some leaves, just because I think I used a different brush than what I normally use, just for fun. And then I went on to add the lighting from the pond. I played around with using like shape tools to do it. It's a little harder doing it that way, but I think it works. And then yeah, blurred that out so it wouldn't be super harsh. And then after that I added the extra rendering on Chris, and then some more particles for the foreground, some extra sparklies, and a frame because I felt like it needed it. Just a simple one though. And I've been doing this thing where I got this brush which is like it adds like these sparkles around in a circle, and I've been having a really fun time adding that as like a halo behind my characters' heads. I've done that in a couple artworks at this point in videos, but yeah, it's really fun to do that. It adds extra, like extra focal point, or like an extra emphasis on the focal point, and it makes perfect sense with this character because he's an angel. So yeah, that makes total sense with this one. I think I remember when I was working on this, I wasn't really liking it at first, but late after I finished it, I was pretty happy with it. But now looking at it after a while, I actually really like how this turned out. I love all the colors that I use for it. I think it looks really great. And yeah, that is pretty much it for me, so I'll let the rest play out. And that was it for this artwork. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the artwork and the speed paint. Like I said, I really like how this turned out. I like all the colors. I think the only thing is that I'm not particularly proud of the hands, but oh shocker, the one thing I struggle at drawing, well, not the one thing, but the main thing that I struggle at drawing is something I'm often not the proudest of. Go figure. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this artwork. All my normal stuff will be in the description below. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!